I'm Steph Hodge with Board Game Geek here with Chad Ellis from Chad Elkis. Oh my God, I'm getting it all wrong. I'm so sorry.
It's been a long day.
From 25th Century Games. And I'll just call you Chad. How about that?
There you go. There's no need for formalities. We're all friends here. It's fine.
And we get to look at the amazing winner chicken dinner, and it's so much fun. I've played it several times now, and you get to tell us all about this.
Right. So, yeah, actually, I guess we played it back at TantrumCon. I guess back in
January, which seems like a million years ago.
That feels like forever ago. But yeah, so Winner Chicken Dinner is it's definitely a family game. So it is very light. I wouldn't say light-hearted. It is kind of light-hearted to some degree, but there are some light elements that take that to it. But what people have said, it's like a super deluxe kids game. I think when you look at the components that are in it, it definitely feels and seems like a game that would be for like an older or gateway audience. But it is definitely it is a light kids game or light family game.
And it comes with the rubber chicken.
And it comes with the rubber chicken, which is so the rubber chicken is interesting because I felt like it just needed one. We're playing the game like this game is neat. And I actually had one in the play testing and the development of the game. I threw a couple just in the box and carried around and people play around with it. Like, now I've just got to find a way to put rubber chicken in the game. And we never made any design rules around a rubber chicken. Like, that was really just had no purpose for the game. I still put one in the game. That's it just needed. Yeah. And I think the rule book even says if you make it all the way to the end of the rule book, which is not very long, but literally the last statement pretty much says, if you're wondering what to do with the chicken, like, just do whatever.
Make your own rules for it. Keep it on your shelf.
Which is what folks do.
Yeah. It's great. It's fantastic. So tell us a little bit about this game and what you're going to be doing and how did you get this idea and stuff like that. We want to hear about it.
Yeah. So let's. So we'll start with the idea. Just a kind of quick story. It was a few years ago, actually, really before even the first game was published by 25th Century Games. I had a friend of mine had posted. He's an artist. I worked with him at a video game studio, and he just did a sketch, illustration of this fox, like in a suit, just eating fried chicken, like in front of a chicken coop on a farm. And I don't know, it's the most crazy, like just interesting image that you don't think about. Foxes, they do eat chickens, right? But and literally within like a couple hours later that night, I was like, man, like that could be an interesting game idea. And I just went to work sketching on a pad and writing down crazy just thoughts about it. And actually, I shared an image literally of that page in my notebook because I still had it in my old journal from 4 years ago, I think now. And that's where it was born. And a lot has changed and evolved over the years. It really took a long time in design development. So I kept getting distracted with other projects. And yeah, that's where it came from. So you are literally trying to do just that. You are a fox. All players will take a fox character card, and those are the oversized cards you can see on the right-hand side of the screen. The game is absolutely beautifully illustrated by Shauna Tenney.
It's beautiful. It really, really is a fantastic art.
It was one of those things where when I was looking at how do I bring it to life visually, I had to figure out. I mean, basically, I need to find an artist that can take fox, just a fox, and how do you go make a lot of different variations of foxes that have their own personalities and they're all and they're unique in their own ways, and not just a rinse and repeat of the same fox over and over. And I remember a game that I had, backed on Kickstarter years and years and years ago called Wizards of the Wild. And she had done a lot of animal illustrations that were like wizards and just really brought those personalities to life. And so I contacted her about the project, and fortunately she was very interested in helping out. So she did all the illustration work, and then a few folks helped out a lot of the graphic design work, which is Matt Paquette and Chip Cole, and actually Shauna's husband Warren helped out as well with that. But yeah,
so great. It's so great.
Yeah, it's so good, you know. And you're one of those Fox characters, right? And they have a special ability that's just for that character. It persists throughout the game, so if the situation arises where it applies, then you would get to do it. But what you're trying to do is steal chickens from the hen house. So that you got on the farm mat. Those are both neoprene mats in the game, so they're not boards. So those are both rubber-backed double-stitch mats. So on that farm there, you pull the chicken tokens out, and what you're going to do, it's basically a kid's fun Yahtzee style dice roller. So you've got a series of dice. You got 6 dice. Each one of those die have a unique facing on them. So there are 6 options. You have a single or a double chicken. You have a single or a double cook, which is the chicken leg. You have the dog, and then you have a fox, and they each so they each do different things. What you're trying to do game-wise is steal chickens from the coop, put them into your little burlap sack, still leaving the coop, heading home with them, and you're trying to then get them home and then cook them into chicken dinner. That's it. So Winterwear Chicken Dinner seemed like a very apropos name, right? So it's a dice roller,
perfect.
so which is an old Vegas saying. It's like the dice and the chickens and the dinners, it just kind of worked. But so the dice, so you roll the die. So if you roll a single chicken, then you can steal, and you get up to 2 rerolls. So if you roll a dog, this is where the press your luck piece comes in. If you roll a dog on the die, it's frozen, so you can't re-roll that. So the more you push your luck on trying to get the things you need, the more likely you're going to possibly roll a dog. So if you roll a dog, dice is frozen, and at the end of your turn, you will move the dog up basically the bark track, essentially. And so that is one potential way the game can end. So in a 2-player game, if it gets to 20, then that will trigger the end game, or 30 for 3 or 40 for 4. But if you roll chickens, so if you roll a single chicken or a double chicken, then at that point you would take that number of chicken from the coop. So right now you've got 3 singles there. So if that was the end of your turn, you would then take 3 chickens from the coop and put them in your bag. That's how you cook chicken. Once you've stolen them, that's how you cook them into your bag, or take them out of your bag and cook them. So you need a pair of those. The cooking's a little bit harder. So you need 2 single chicken legs to cook 1 chicken from your bag, or you need 2 doubles to cook 2 chickens from your bag. So when you do that, you actually take out of your bag and you flip it over. So the flip side of all those, fun derpy chickens is a cooked chicken dinner. And then the other item on the die is the fox, which is what you have showing there. So if then your turn
tokens.
Foxes, what now?
I was just telling Lincoln the tokens with all those chickens in the coop. All those chicken tokens. Yeah, all those. So the chickens are in your bag, and once you get them into dinner, you turn them over in front of you, and so these become your points, or more points, if you will.
More points. Yeah. So at the end of the game, you're gonna total up the total number of chickens in your bag, plus which count for 1 point each, and then the cooked dinners in front of you. Those count as 2 points each. But what the key is about the chicken dinners is they can't be stolen from you, or you can't lose them.
Stolen. Yeah.
So that's where the action cards comes in. So that's where the fox facing on the die come in. So you can see on the map there, you've got the red, blue, and yellow columns. So if at the end of your turn, you lock your dice down and you're done, if you have 3 foxes, you can purchase the card on the yellow. Or if you have 3 foxes, you can purchase 1 red and the 2 blue. Or if you have right now on the die, you just have 1 fox, which means you could purchase that 1 fox character in the far left. Some of the abilities happen immediately. They all say play immediately. Some of them you can hold and choose to play them at a later time. But this is where all the action comes into play and the interaction between players. So most of these are going to be stealing chickens from players. So which is why if you can cook chickens into chicken dinner, those can't be stolen and they're banked. So you don't run the risk of losing the points, from the chickens you've collected. So these things can be, swap entire bags with a player. You could shift all the bags left to right. You could.
If you don't have any chicken in your bag, that's a great opportunity.
That's a great opportunity. Yeah. So And so where some of the choice comes in, how you resolve the dice is up to you. So, but you have to resolve everything about that block at one time. So I could choose to steal chickens first and then resolve my fox or the dog. Or what I could do is actually resolve an action card and get rid of my empty bag to a player, because I bought an action card, and then I could draw my chickens. And then there's some goofy ones in there that get a little more interactive. I think you just showed one of them.
We just saw Cluck Off.
Right.
It's just probably the most entertaining one of them all.
It's funny when you see it at a convention or like in a room with a lot of people in there. Well, so what the Cluck Off? There's a Cluck Off and there's a dance off, a chicken dance party. Sorry, Cluck Off, chicken dance party. What those mean is if you played the card, you're the judge. So you're the judge in this chicken clucking contest, basically. And so all the other players have to do their best chicken clucking impersonation. And then you as the judge get to choose the winner. And then the losers owe the judge and the winner a chicken from their bag. So it's not a huge loss if you lose, but it's it's all kind of lighthearted, very fun. It's a lot of silly and kind of fun, very cute art. And kids kind of love taking chickens from people and certainly like the chicken dance party and stuff.
And it plays out pretty quickly because you either run out of chickens because people are rolling lots of chickens, or maybe the dog's moving along really quickly. So a game could really just end if people are rolling all chickens and you just have all the chickens in your bag. Or maybe you're really bad luck like me and you get the dogs just all the time.
Right. Yeah. If you get a group that's like really pressing their luck, you are going to trigger that dog a little more because there's more chances to roll it. But so the two in-game triggers are you run out of chickens from the coop, or the dog reaches their thing. So that's kind of how the game would end. And the chickens scale just like the dog track. So it's 15 chickens per player. So it's, to your point, it's one of those games where you might be done in 10 minutes, even in a 4-player game, or 15 minutes tops. And then you can just reset.
Depending on how people roll. Yeah.
Yep. It's all about the rolls.
And I love the push your luck element. That is like totally my kind of thing. I'm like, keep going. We can do it. I can do it. Yes.
Because you want that dinner.
No.
You're like, I've got a double.
I need that dinner. Yes. Just so you know, you're getting a lot of love for the neoprene mats because that's really a great feature to have inside the game. Just roll it out. It's so nice. And so that's exciting.
Nice.
Somebody asked about the... Yeah. So someone asked about the bags. Is that a chicken dinner bucket on the bag? I think it is.
It is. Yeah. So it's the same as the card back. So we did the little bucket. It's got little chicken in it.
It's so great.
It was funny. Like the only art direction, very limited art direction I gave in this game. And the one statement I made was, whatever chickens we have, if they're like on the bucket or they're on a card, they just need to look just crazy and derpy, because no one's going to care if those chickens get eaten, kind of a thing. You don't want to feel bad for the chickens. So all the chickens in the game just look like whatever. So
No, they're fantastic. Did you want to mention anything about the sketches? I think you posted something on Facebook about some sketches that happened maybe prior to the game. I'm not quite sure, but it was a question.
So on our Instagram feed for 21st Century Games, you can actually, I think on the Facebook page too, I posted literally my journal book that had kind of the initial, where I was scribbling and making notes and trying to do basic kind of premise flow for the game. So you can literally see, like, the first night I sat down to try to make this concept of foxes stealing a chicken from a coop, trying to bring that to life into a game. Like, you can see that journal from that night. And literally I had a very, very rough paper prototype like that same night. I was up really late and I was already cutting stuff out and writing numbers on dice and trying to see if I could make something kind of function. And 3 years later, we started moving on the path of art and kind of so. And this is my design, which is not normal. So most of the stuff we do, this is the only the final design probably from me, I think, for a long time for this for 25th Century. But which is kind of why it took a little while, because I started getting sidetracked with other projects, like Kingswood Jurassic Parks and everything
Understandable.
else. Yeah.
But because of it, you have this amazing quality game. You got it funded on Kickstarter, right? So like all of like the tokens were upgraded for that Kickstarter version. I mean, you got amazing art. Everything about it is just like top production. So I think you did well in waiting and getting the quality of what you wanted for your game, and it really shows. So
yeah, thank you.
You did that really well.
So yeah, even like so for the releases to retail like right now. So we're kind of launching retail along with BGG.CONline. And that is available in the Geek Store. So the new Geek Store, which is awesome, by the way. So it's available in there.
Geek Game Shop.
Or Geek Game Shop, yeah. The Geek Game Shop versus the Geek Bit Store. But if you order the game in there, so it will ship with 4 promo character cards, and it will ship with a enamel pin, a soft enamel pin. So you'll get those if you order it through there.
That's awesome. So definitely perks for getting it through the Geek Game Shop, and it's available now, as you said. Now you have a ton of games in the works, and things that are happening. I mean, you want to talk anything more about those, or is there anything else to say about Winter Winter Chicken Dinner?
No, this is. I think we've kind of covered it all. It's a very light game. It's silly. It's fun.
It's great.
You're gonna have a lot of laughs, as people play it. I mean, it's just to watch your friends or your kids or a family stand up and do a chicken dance off or cluck or whatever. I mean, it is really silly, and it plays super fast. I think MSRP is $25. I think for the quality you get in that box for $25, it's very worth it. So
it's fantastic.
We can talk about other stuff probably.
Yeah, I mean, there's a Kinesia game in the works, right?
So announced that just yesterday. I guess we finally kind of showed off some of the first components the first time, also to kind of coincide with the BGG.CONline. So it's addicting. You can't not use it. You just have.
I know that chicken's amazing.
It is amazing. And it just got this just terrible look. He's just like this weird kind of look on his face. And if you look at the insert, the plastic tray inside the box, I don't know if you can if you have that handy, but the insert of the actually has a spot for the chicken. So there's literally a insert that we shaped out the chicken butt thing inside there. So.
It's just so fantastic. I think every game needs a rubber chicken.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, that just serves no purpose. There you go. So if you look at the insert, it's got a chicken spot, and it's like molded to his butt. So it just fits right in there. I mean, why not?
No, it's absolutely perfect. And I remember you telling me a story where somebody asked you to sign their game, but on the chicken butt.
I did. Yes, it was.
I won't forget that. It's so funny. It's just so great.
It's really weird, it's very flattering. It's very, you just don't expect it. We were at Tantrum Con and the game was like had limited copies there, and a few folks want to get their game signed, which is awesome. Like, it's very flattering to have someone want that. And so usually you just sign the front cover of the box. And this one guy was like, "Would you actually mind just signing the chicken?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah, okay. Where will you sign the chicken?" There? It was like right on his butt. So he turned it on with the flat. Just signed this chicken's butt, right there on the fly. So that's a special request. You gotta contact me for that kind of level of attention. But so
anyway,
chicken butt signing aside. So Tutankhamun, there you go. Let's talk about that real quick. Just announced that will be the next game coming. So that's the promo cards, by the way. Look like those are the 4. So if you order it, you will get these 4 characters.
Ooh, promo cards. Nice.
Yeah, so, and that is very much not Indiana Jones. That is very much not James Bond. There you go. And then that's definitely not Colonel Sanders. And then not a ninja from a other action movie. So Okay.
Nice.
Doing common. We keep trying, but we just can't get there.
You're trying. You're trying. We're gonna get there.
Yeah, so Tutankhamun will be the next game coming to Kickstarter from 25th Century. We just kind of announced it and kind of started showing off the cover art. So Tutankhamun was originally, it's a Reiner Knizia title. So we're bringing it back. It was originally released in the early 90s in Germany, and it was a Spiel recommended game back then. And then it had an English printing in the early 2000s. I think it was out of the box. And so we basically worked with Reiner, and we were bringing that one back to life. We have all new arts. We've revised some of the gameplay elements to it. Jackie Davis, who's done a ton of beautiful stuff from Ex Libris and Viticulture and Euphoria. And,
oh, wow. Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, just absolutely fantastic artist. So her and Matt Paquette did all the graphic design work for it. And so we're bringing back this game. It has all new kind of component layouts. We've kind of reimagined how the game kind of sets up and the storyline behind it. And it's gonna be a really fantastic gateway game. Very approachable for families as well. You literally just do one thing on a turn. So it's easy to teach and get players, and it plays up to 6. So it's a really great game to bust out when you get some friends over. So that comes up to Kickstarter this summer. We are locking down, and you can go to the BGG page and then get a link to the Kickstarter notification page for Tutankhamun, so you don't miss it. And then we've got Kingswood, which is coming to backers. Will start getting their copies here in about a month. So we're locking the late pledges down at the end of this month, so you can go find links to that from our site or through Kickstarter. But this is designed by Henry Audubon, who did Parks and Space Park. So this is really, really fun, really fun, clever, rondel game. We actually talked about it, I think, on the BGG feed might have been Origins. I think it was on Kickstarter at that time. It was Origins or Gen Con, but really, really great game. Very
I think we always need more rondels, so that's exciting.
Yeah. And it's like
I love games with rondels.
Super easy. Like, it's not complicated. It's the turn flow is very easy to figure out, and it doesn't bog you down. So it's a very, very approachable game. And if you've played Henry's other games from Parks and Space Park, he's very great at just making these simplistic style decisions, but they're meaningful and they're complex, but they're very, very easy and approachable. So that game is no exception. So don't miss out on that, because the Royal Edition, which is the deluxe version that you can get through the Pledge Manager, I think we're almost out of them. And it has coins, and it has wooden resources, and really nice. And then Jurassic Parts was the most recent one we did. This was on Kickstarter not too long ago, so late pledges are still available for that. This one will come. So Kingswood comes to retail in July. This will come to retail probably around September, I think, is the kind of the time frame we're looking at. But this is a tile laying game. So this has art by Andrew Bosley. So Everdell, he's done a lot of beautiful games. And then designer here, this is Kevin Lansing. So he did the Flashpoint Fire Rescue games. Really great designer. This is a tile laying game. So it's a tile laying area control game, which is very approachable for families and filler gateway type games.
Yeah, so we got to play that at Tantrum Con as well, and it's actually pretty cutthroat. He was vicious to me, but I got him back, so it worked out.
And you crushed me if I don't remember right. You actually destroyed me.
Well, at the beginning, I'm like, okay, I'll help you do this. I'll help you do this. And then you're like, do. I'm like, all right, it's on.
That's one of those games where it plays up to 5, so we did expand it to 5 in the Kickstarter campaign. But it kind of plays, I think, a little bit like if you play Blue Lagoon from Knizia. At 3 and 4 players, there's a lot of push pull and give and take, but you're spreading it out across different players. But when you play a 2-player game, even in that one and this one as well, it's very kind of it feels cutthroat. So it's very you're just head to head, battling for stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's still lighthearted. It's still very.
It was great. Yeah, I mean, we had a good time. All your games are fantastic. I love the Winter and Chicken Dinner, so definitely check that out. you know, you want a rubber chicken. It's a great deal. So that's available in the Geek Game Shop. And thank you so much, Chad, for coming on, giving us your time.
Thank you, Steph.
You know, it's been a pleasure. So
absolutely. Look forward to seeing you again. Thank y'all so much for watching.